Today we learn human ethology. Introduction. In this lesson, we will learn about human ethology. Ethology is concerned with the evolutionary significance of an animal's behavior in its natural environment. Broadly speaking, ethology focuses on behavioral processes across species rather than focusing on the behaviors of one animal group. Ethology as a discipline is generally thought of as a subcategory of biology, though psychological theories have sprung up based on ethological ideas, for example, sociobiology, evolutionary psychology and attachment theory. Human ethology focuses on the evolutionary and adaptive significance of human behavior. Human ethology is a subdiscipline of biology and psychology. It deals with behavior of human beings, especially those which have their roots in animal behavior such as feeding, drinking, social behavior, communication, learning, intelligence, aggression, territoriality, courtship and parental care. Human beings are different from other animals and non-human primates. Human ethology can also be considered as a connecting link between animal behavior and human behavior, or animals ethology and human psychology. Unlike animal ethology, human ethology is difficult to understand because it is much complex, since on one hand animals depend more on instincts, humans use more of learned behavior. Human behaviors include lot of pretense also. For example, we can look gloomy at somebody's funeral, whereas in reality we are not so unhappy. Likewise, sometimes we can laugh at a poor joke, whereas we are not so amused. That way, humans have a control over their behavior. We generally assume that we can always behave as we want in a specific manner at any given time. However, our non-verbal communications tell otherwise. Now let us see ethological concepts and human behavior. Number 1. Concept of fixed action pattern. The classical example of inborn human behavior in the newborn baby reacting immediately to its mother nipple by sucking. Similarly, smiling and frowning are also inborn actions. If we look at child born blind and deaf, they still smile and frown. In human adults, raising of eyebrow while greeting is an inborn action. Aggressive displays and appeasement actions are inborn actions. Any action of adult animal is considered inborn action if it occurs in every human being. Like the animals, human beings also have two kinds of behavior: instinctive behavior and learned behavior. There is much behavior that is inherent or inborn. For example, human behavior such as crying, smiling, crawling, walking, sucking, swallowing, coughing, laughing, aggression, swinging of the arms, sexual activities and parental care. All of these are genetically pre-wired and are produced at the arrival of proper stimulus. These actions are produced automatically and quickly without consulting the conscious brain. Number 2. Concept of sign stimulus. Like the animals, human species respond to one another by visual releasers. One of the first social behavior in humans is a smile. The first time you smiled, your mother, father, brother or sister smiled back to you. For the rest of your life, you will smile more frequently to a smiling face. All TV commercials provide visual stimuli for us to buy that product. These commercials are also based on supernormal stimulus theory. The advertisement of a toothpaste on the TV always show extra sparkle on teeth. This is a supernormal stimulus. It shows sparkles all around a person's, attracting attention of all those girls who are passing by. Facial expression studied by Charles Darwin are all examples of visual releasers and fixed action patterns. The smile is a universal gesture among humans, indicating pleasure, appeasement and friendliness. Auditory releasers. Sounds are also significant in our lives. Vocalization, that is, production of sound, is instinctive, but the language has to be learned. Although language is important in human communication, the tone of voice also communicates its emotion. What is spoken is not nearly so important as the tone of voice used when speaking. Soft, whispering tone are comforting and may be uttered to lover or a child. A harsh tone conveys annoyance. Number 3. Imprinting in humans. The concept of imprinting during a sensitive period proposed by Konrad Lorenz provide a useful framework for mother-infant bond, also called attachment bond in human beings. John Bowlby is one of the major supporters of attachment bond theory. Attachment is an innate human survival mechanism. It is an emotional tie that a person or an animal forms with another person or animal. This tie binds these two beings together and it continues over time. Human attachment lasts for a lifetime. When the animals are born, they see their parents moving around them during the sensitive period, so they get attached to them. But in case of human beings, it may be parents, grandparents, aunts and servants. No wonder we remember the ayah of our childhood all through our life with much fondness because of establishment of strong attachment bond during our early childhood called imprinting. Attachment bond provides the young child with a secure base from which it explores the world. As young children grows older, they gradually move away from the caretaker as they explore the environment. However, they still maintain contact with the caretaker through visual and verbal communication. Attachment bond affects personality and the individual's feeling of self-reliance. Attachment bond is an indicator of the quality of care received by the infant. One characteristic of imprinting is its irreversibility. Once the appropriate or inappropriate behavior is learned, it is never completely unlearned or forgotten. It is well known fact that it is much easier to teach a youngster a foreign language than to teach a middle age. Elder can learn a foreign language, but they are rarely proficient with the language and almost never learn to think in the new language as the young child might. Number 4. Kinships and human social systems. Kinships means helping related individuals in a family or even unrelated members of a colony or tribe. This property is shared by animals also. Kinship has been studied in genetically related animals. Traits for helping related individuals in human beings has come from animals. Among human beings, where relatedness is known precisely from geologies and from blood typing, there is evidence that aggression is lower between those which are closely related, and that relatives tend to help each other at the time of any need, such as the childbirth, marriage, and helping a relative during fights and at other times of need. Kinship is applied to the relationship between parents and their offspring and predict where certainty of paternity is low. A male invests in the children of his own sisters in preference to his own sons and daughters, since on average they will be more closely related to him. Cross-cultural comparisons indicate that uncles and aunts tend to care more for their nephews and nieces, in which woman or man mate loosely. This is true for animals also. Number 5. Chemical communications by pheromones in human beings. Communication through pheromones is considered primitive. Animals, for example, honeybee, silk moth, dog, deer, lion, etc., depend largely on this method because they cannot write, they cannot speak like us, they do not have expressive eyes like ours. But it is surprisingly that in spite of our other developed communicative skills, we have retained this primitive animal's form of communication through pheromones. Odors play a significant role in human sexual behavior. Pair formation, falling in love involves odors. We have odor preference which changes also. Before puberty, human beings have preferences for sweet and fruity smells. At sexual maturity, there is shift to flowery, oily and musky smells. Humans do not have any mammalian scent glands for the production of pheromones. Instead, in them occur numerous apocrine sweat glands which secrete higher proportion of solids. Number 6. Territorial behavior of human beings. Human beings are most territorial animals among the animal world. There is a constant fight for small piece of lands between countries, cities, villages, colonies, roads or houses. The trade of keeping a territory and defending it by animals has been passed on to human beings during the course of evolution. There are parallels between the territoriality displayed by animal species and the possession and protection of property by humans. During human evolution, territoriality had an obvious advantage. Early humans move in small bands or groups and frequently set up temporary camps or territories. These areas became home bases for hunting, extending into nearby home ranges. This area was well protected and contained food, water and shelter. Fossil evidences suggested that human territories by the side of a water body were preferred where infants and women were secured. There were obviously competition for this good site with other human tribes and they were defended against human or animal intrusion. Types of human territories. Desmond Morris has classified human territories as follows. Number 1. Tribal territory. It is a territory around a tribe, village, city or a country. Patriotism for a country can be the cause of most dreaded wars and bloodshed we have had, for example, Indo-Pak wars, and are still having all over the earth. Number 2, family territory. Human beings are very defensive for the family territory, that is their homes. Human houses are marked in many ways. One house often may look much different from another, and that in itself is a marker that identifies my territory. Our markers include fences, walls, trees, rockworks, sidewalks, advertisement of the name of the occupants and the address, among many others. Our home territories are also breeding territories because breeding and other sexual activities account for a large share of behavior performed in home territory. The center of the territory is the bedroom, the nest. We feel very secure in privacy of our bedroom. Feeding, grooming and parental activities occur in other regions of the family territory. Number 3, floating or moving territory. We take a moving territory with us, particularly when the whole family unites, live together. Family claims tables at restaurants or picnic grounds as a temporary territories. But one of the interesting moving territory is the car. Number 4, individual space. Like the animals, human beings also have individual space, that is, territory that goes with individual everywhere. There are several levels of individual space. Intimate space, space that is reserved near our bodies for intimate relations with other humans, which frequently involve physical contact. Intimate space is reserved for parents, siblings or mates. Others who attempts to intrude are discouraged and are often physically expelled. Casual space, this space extends around us about 1 arm length. This is the ring of privacy we reserve for ourselves while talking to friends and acquaintances of our own peer group. Social space, this is a large space around us for interacting with familiar people at wedding receptions or music concerts. Number 7, aggressive behavior of human beings. Number 1, dominance hierarchy. Most non-human primates follow social hierarchy with one dominant male as in charge. In gorillas, there is a big male and he is tolerant towards other males. The basic system changed when naked ape, that is human being, became cooperative hunter with a fixed home. They became territorial and defended homes. When they hunted, they took help of weaker males. They follow mild hierarchy with stronger members at top and weaker at the bottom. It started with group or tribal defense, but gradually became involved in individual home defense. Number 2, ritualized combats. The danger initiate fear as well as aggression. The battle can be won without shedding blood. Animal species follow this model. Most of the animal species settle their disputes without causing undue damage to its members and are benefited by these processes. Animals tend to develop the ritualized combats. Threats and counter threats have replaced actual fights. Blood fights do take place, but rarely when aggressive signaling and counter signaling have failed. As a result of this, we can see in many animal species elaborate threats, rituals and dances. Animals have also developed many appeasing signals, gesture and postures. Lying down, bowing, grooming, lip smacking are some. What are our own special behaviors of threatening and appeasement? We human beings cannot frighten our rivals by raising our hair to look bigger because of almost naked skin. We still do it in moment of anger or fear. All my hair rose, but as a signal it is of no use. But nakedness gives us the chance to send other visual color signals. We can go white with rage, red with anger or pale with fear. We avoid actual fight by exhibiting aggression or appeasement by gestures such as clenched fist, stamping of feet, slamming the hand or fist on a table and smashing objects on the wall or floor. We make threatening facial expression along with shouting. All these are our displays to avoid an actual bloody fight. We may cover our disinterest in aggression by giving appeasement signals. Most animals show appeasement by lowering the eyes, ears, head, tail and limb. During the total submission, the animal, for example dog, rolls on their dorsal side. Human beings also have some interesting appeasement signals. Lowering of human body can be in the form of groveling, prostrating, cleaning, bowing or courtesying. The key signal here is lowering of the body to appease dominant individual. A friendly handshake has developed from holding of hands in chimpanzee. Gestures. Human beings use many types of gestures to communicate piece of information. There are incidental gestures, for example scratching, rubbing, wiping, cuffing, yawning, stretching, etc. Number 2, expressive gestures, for example facial expressions such as smile, frown, fear, repulsion, pain, wonder, funny, aggression, clamposed, etc. Number 3, mimic gesture, for example putting on a good face, looking sad at a death, theatre and cinema artist, signaling for food, drinking, smoking, etc. Number 4, schematic symbolic gesture, for example cattle are represented as pair of horns by putting 2 fingers on the side of heads, temple tap indicating to use brain, finger rotating against temple indicating something wrong with brain, technical gesture, for example signals by policemen or firemen, coded gesture. For example, sign language of deaf and dumb, tic-tac system used on race courses, semaphore code for naval communication. It is not easy to understand all gestures made around the world because of much cultural variations. Multi-message gestures and gesture alternatives, hybrid gesture, relic gesture, regional signals, baton signals, yes-no signals and absence signals. Number 8, human sexual behavior. Like animals, human sexual behavior includes following 4 phases: pair formation, courtship, pre-copulatory behavior and copulatory behavior. Humans and primates, for example gorillas, also show genital displays, homosexuality and masturbation. Number 1, pair formation. Human beings have obvious sexual dimorphism. For example, males can be distinctly recognized from females. Dimorphic species attract mates by the physical characteristics that serve as sexual releasers. In humans, pair formation takes place with much rituals, that is marriage. Male sexual releasers: tall, broad, good, that is muscular built, well kept breed and moustache, sharply hips, good counter of front around the genitalia. Body hair, particularly breed, chest, leg and occasionally axillary hairs also act as a sexual releasers. Female sexual releaser: young, sexually receptive women have round, moon-like full faces, butt, big firm breast, fuller hips, big lips, slim waist, rounded thigh, and a woman attempt to retain their youthful sexual appearance by using makeup and dressing style. Number B. Courting. Human male being larger than woman display dominance during appeasement and diversionary behavior. Men and women are attracted to each other by combination of sexual releasers. Courting humans are easily identified. They are almost always those couples walking around holding hands or clinching bodies while staring into each other's eyes. It is obvious that some bond has been formed between them. Courting woman often shows following posture of appeasement, such as leaning against the man, necking and thereby lowering her body, which is an invitation to mate in animal kingdom. She may gaze into his eye and smile. She may giggle like a child, cover her face or suck her fingers. Lip contact is equally common during courtship. Kissing is one of the most frequent behavior exchanging between courting humans. The kiss has evolved from juvenile food begging responses in animals. Number C. Pre-copulatory behavior. Like the animals, this part of sexual behavior includes visual invitations, mild chasing in the form of pursuance, rubbing, sniffing, licking, sucking and genital display. If one studies copulation in apes, it is like to know about two species. Number D. Copulatory behavior. Mating postures can be dorsoventral or ventroventral. During mating, a sexual aroused male penetrates his erect penis in the sufficiently lubricated vagina of a sexual receptive female. After a few thrusting, male ejaculates semen inside the vagina of female. Summary of human ethology. In this lecture, we learned about definition of human ethology and how it is different from animal ethology. We also learned various ethological concepts, types of human territories and human behavior.